Good evening and welcome to Primetime News live from the News First studios here in Colombo. I'm Madhushka Balasuriya.
And I'm Florine Rajendran.
Now we have Sonali Waningabaduge up in the newsroom to give you all the latest on the tragic landslide that occurred yesterday in Khoslanda, Miriabadwa.
But before going to those stories in detail, here's a look at your headlines.
Search operations resumed to locate those missing in the Khoslanda landslide. 3 bodies recovered from the rubble. Government will take responsibility for the 75 children orphaned by the landslide. A special statement in Parliament by Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Landslide warning still in effect for several districts in the island. The Sirasa Shakti Sahanayatra program recommences to provide relief to landslide victims. Minister Maithripala Sirisena comments on the position of Prime Minister. The TNA expects a reasonable, durable political solution.
Various parts of the island have been recording torrential rains, mudslides, landslides and rock slides. The most recent incident, the landslide in Khoslanda, Miriabadwa, yesterday, which left hundreds destitute, missing, homeless, orphaned, childless and simply lost. It is in this backdrop that we meet you here at the News First special coverage of this Khoslanda natural disaster. Our mission to educate you about the natural disaster and of the relief efforts that are being taken by all fronts, and also to urge you to assist and contribute in any manner possible to bring hope to these hopeless brethren of ours. Now, the head of state also visited the Khoslanda area this morning. The Disaster Management Center has confirmed that 142 persons are missing following the landslide in Khoslanda, Miriabadwa. According to reports from the DMC, 3 bodies have been pulled out of the rubble so far. Further reports also emerged that 63 houses had been buried by the landslide.
What you are seeing is the area that was destroyed by the landslide in Khoslanda. There is a stream of muddy water running down the slope, which indicates that the area is still prone to landslides. There is also the risk of these layers of mud being pushed down as a result of the mud water. We must make a special request from the people who are coming here not to do so, as this hampers the duties of the relief workers and it is of high risk to your life as well.
The search operation for those missing in the landslide recommenced this morning after bad weather forced authorities to suspend rescue efforts last evening. A group of 500 army personnel are assisting with the rescue operations. Furthermore, Army media spokesperson Brigadier Ruwan Waningabaduge said that a team of Army commandos, Special Task Force personnel specialized in relief efforts are engaged in the search and rescue operation. Airmen, disaster management units and area residents are also assisting the armed forces with the rescue efforts. Our cameras captured the manner in which surrounding villagers stood in solidarity with those who lost their loved ones in the Koslanda tragedy today.
As you can see, the recovery rescue efforts for tonight, they've ended as of 6:30 p.m. This evening. They will resume again tomorrow morning. The rain has continued to pour throughout the day. It ceased somewhat from in the morning, but now again it's drizzling, and also light does not permit for any more work to be done. Refugees in the meantime have been moved to camps temporarily, relocated. Stay with News First as we bring you more on this story. I'm Shehan Nandu reporting for News First.
Well, meanwhile, President Mahinda Rajapaksa toured the Koslanda area today in order to inquire into the well-being of those who survived yesterday's natural disaster in Koslanda.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa travelled to Koslanda this morning by air and inspected the destruction caused by the landslide. Thereafter, the President met with relief workers at the Sri Ganesha Tamil College in Koslanda and instructed that all facilities be provided to those affected. President Rajapaksa also instructed the relevant officials to take immediate measures to resettle and provide lands for those displaced. Here, the President had assured that a special program will be implemented to look into the well-being of the children who were orphaned by the tragedy. The head of state urged authorities to exercise extreme caution against impostors who might come forward and claim custody of children, as seen during the 2004 tsunami tragedy. The President also said that measures will be taken to remove the rubble once investigations are completed.
With a section of the Miriabad, the village wiped off, 2 acres of land buried under the rubble, News First went in search of untold stories of survival.
We made this treacherous journey amidst the risks of landslides in the central hill. As we were advancing towards the hill that cascaded down on the Miriabad, the village, we met Selvaraj Sridharan, a 25-year-old who was residing in Miriabad. He was fortunate enough to escape the landslide as he left his residence, one of the 79 houses, a day before the incident. With tears in his eyes, Selvaraj Sridharan told us that his mother is still unaccounted for. Selvaraj, with his mother's photograph in his wallet, his only precious possession, scoured through muck, earth and debris in search of his home, hoping that his mother would be alive.
Well, I'm in the middle of Miriabad, which made news yesterday as a hillside came cascading down on an entire village which is home to around 300 people. Behind me are the belongings of a family which we believe have survived the calamity or would have gone under the rubble, possibly. I'm Stephanie Lazarus reporting from Miriabad, Koslanda.
We saw around 590 evacuees, among them 50 housed at the Tamil Mahavidyalaya in Koslanda.
Ade, abi totu majaga okuma kata karla. Ade wala dal lesi kero.
Iya okuma kiya baba la skole kiya ne egula balande. Ye gamu podi malli berla ave. Ke baba nanga ave ne. Me ade me phone nangi ke. නංගි පාරේම ගියා කියලා කිව්වා. ඩොලර් විතරයි ගත්තලු. ගමේ ඉන්න කොල්ල ටික ඔයලා ගත්තලු. අරන් ආවේ මෙරේලු. මේ අපේ නේනාගේ බබා තමයි නැති උනේ. එයාගේ මා වයස 17යි අවුරුදු 17යි.
අර මරුමවනෝ. උරුනාදී මුල්ලියේ. උරුනාදී මුල්ලියේ.
There were also stories of survival.
අරගෙන එළියට එනකොට මේ වත්තේ ගැටේ ඔක්කොම ගිහුවා ඉක්මනට දරුවෝ අරගෙන දුවන්න කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ මම පාරට එනකොට තමයි ඒගොල්ලන් කිව්වේ නාය යනවා ඉක්මනට මේ දරුවෝ බැරගන්න කියලා කිව්වට පස්සේ මම දරුවෝ අරගෙන පල්ලයට ආවා.
The Capital Maharaja Organisation has decided to once again recommence the Sirasa Shakti Sahana Yatra program in order to provide relief to those displaced by the Khoslanda natural disaster. Now, your donations can be dropped off at our head office situated at Braybrook Place, Colombo 2, at Time Studios, Ratmalana, Vivekananda Centre at New Chetty Street and the Vallavatta Ramakrishna Mission Hall. You can also contribute to the Sahana Yatra by donating items such as instant noodles, biscuits, milk powder, sanitary items, clothing items, along with bed sheets, pillows, blankets. You can also contribute by providing lorries to transport the collected items to those affected in Khoslanda. Now, the deadline for donations is midnight tomorrow, that is Friday. For further information, you can contact us on our hotline 0114-896-896. The number once again 0114-896-896. The Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited has also committed to providing educational scholarships to children who have been orphaned by the Khoslanda landslide. Chief Government Whip Dinesh Gunawardena made a special statement in Parliament today regarding the Khoslanda landslide.
මෙම කේදවාචකයේ වතු නිවාස පෙළි 6ක් නිවාස 63ක ජීවත් වූ පවුල් 57ක පුද්ගලයන් 330ක් විපතයට පත්ව ඇති අතර
This tragedy has claimed the lives of 330 people of 57 families living in 63 homes situated along 6 lines of estate homes. Moreover, a community centre, 2 dairy collecting centres, a Hindu kovil, 2 grocery stores, a calling centre and 3 official estate residences were destroyed. 75 children of families who fell victim to the landslide survived as they were in school, while 100 other persons who left for work at the time of the incident also survived. Relief efforts for those affected are already underway. While the government has taken the responsibility to bear all costs for performing the final rites of those who lost their lives, specialist teams have been dispatched to state hospitals in the area to treat the wounded under the directive of the Health Minister. The government is also taking measures to supply items such as food, clothing, sanitary items and other basic needs to those housed in relief camps. The President has announced that the government will take full responsibility of the 75 children who were orphaned by the tragedy in terms of ensuring their safety and other needs for their future. This area was identified as a landslide-prone area by the National Building Research Organisation in 2005, which also recommended that the 75 families living there be relocated and that the area be declared a reserve. In 2011, the NBRO issued a report confirming its recommendation. Thereby, the District Secretary reported that relief was given to 35 families by providing alternative lands for the construction of homes. However, those who were provided with these lands continued to reside in the lands that were given, as well as the landslide-prone area, which resulted in them falling victim to the landslide.
මිසින් වාර්තා කර ඇත. එහෙත් විකල්ප ඉඩම් ලබාගත් ජනතාවම විකල්ප ස්ථානවල මෙන්ම අවදානම් කලාපයේද ජීවත් වීම නිසා මෙම ඛේදවාචකයට මුහුණ දීම සිදු වී ඇත. අපේ විපක්ෂය වෙනුවෙන් අපේ කනගාටුව.
On behalf of the opposition, we express our condolences to those affected by this tragedy. What is most disappointing about this tragedy is that you knew about it. It is pointless for us to now say that donations will be given after several lives have been lost.
දැන් අපි මොනවද දෙනවයි කිව්වත් ඇති පළක් නැහැ මේ ජීවිත විනාශ වුණාට පස්සේ 2000 අවස්ථාව දේශපාලන
Do not turn a tragedy into a political issue.
වාදයක් ඕනේ නම් වාදයක්
If a debate is what you want, we can allocate additional time in parliament and have a debate.
මම වීරප
I agree that you speak the truth, but a tragedy has struck the country. Do not behave like this. You always behave like this.
මේ විදියට හැසිරෙන්න එපා හැමදාම මේ විදියට තමයි හැසිරෙන්නේ ඊයේ කතාවක් නෙමෙයි
This is not a story on TV. The government must take responsibility for this.
අපි වගකීම්
Yes, we are taking responsibility. We will take responsibility if we have to. So please stop talking gibberish.
Senior geologist at the Landslide and Disaster Management Unit of the National Building Research Organisation, Gamini Jayatissa, says that several landslide warnings were issued since 2005 to the Miriabad area in Khoslanda.
2005 වසරේදී මෙම ප්‍රදේශයේ විශේෂ භූ සමීක්ෂණ වාර්තාවක් නිකුත් කළා.
In 2005, a special survey report on the area was issued after conducting an assessment. According to the report, this area was declared as a danger zone and a request was made to relocate the 75 families residing here. We compiled another report in 2011 recommending that the recommendations made in 2005 report be implemented.
අනුව ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්න කියන දැනුම් දීම අපි කරලා තිනවා.
Although several warnings were issued over the past few years, why wasn't any action taken to relocate these citizens? Minister of Disaster Management Mahinda Amaravira responded.
After issuing the warning, what was the next step that was taken?
We do not have the power to evacuate residents from their houses by force by deploying the police. What we can do is notify these people, the estate owners, the district secretary and divisional secretary. So this is the mandate of the ministry and the National Building Research Organisation. We cannot do anything beyond this.
After providing alternative lands, they have resettled in these lands. What do you have to say about this?
Yes, we gave the alternative lands and a section of the people had moved there. However, their family members had remained in this area.
We have to admit the fact that these estate workers cannot be relocated based on the whims of officials overnight. Does the government have a proper plan to construct houses on these lands?
Now, according to the divisional secretary, a certain number of houses were constructed. So the children of these families are living in the new houses while the parents are residing in their previous houses. I am speaking out of experience because even after the tsunami, no matter how many houses were constructed, they continue to live in their old houses.
The Department of Meteorology forecasts rainfall of over 100 millimeters in the mountainous areas in the island, including the Badulla district. Meanwhile, the landslide warning issued to 5 districts, including Badulla, Kandy and Nuwara, is still in effect.
A threat of landslides persists in the Bandaravilla, Alla, Passara, Uvaparnagama, Haldamulla, Haputale and Halila Divisional Secretariat areas in the Badulla district. Landslide alerts have been issued to the Alla Vallavaya Road, Haputale Beragala Road, Beragala Vallavaya Road and the Badulla Spring Valley Road in the Badulla district. The Disaster Management Centre states that warnings have been issued for landslides and earth slips in all divisional secretariat areas in the Nuwara district. The Wallapane Road that runs through Ragala in Kandy, the Nuwara Hatton Road and the Randanigala Road that comes across Kandy and Badulla have also been deemed as landslide-prone areas. Furthermore, the DMC quoting the National Building Research Organisation notes that landslide warnings have been issued to all divisional administrative areas in the Kandy district. This includes the Kandy Mahayangane Road, Kandy Kurunagala Road and the Kandy Nuwara Road.
With the landslide warning in the Nuwara district being extended, 756 persons belonging to 189 families have been evacuated.
Residents of Haveliya West, Kalapura, Veliveriyavatta, Lipkalevatta, Jayalanka Kandapura, Magasturavatta, the lower estate section in Dianvilla and Vevandavatta villages were evacuated. Our cameras captured footage of 50 members of 117 families in the Uvakalevatta area in Lindula, Lipkalevatta leaving their homes and relocating to relief camps. According to our correspondent, those who evacuated are currently housed at 6 welfare camps and at their relatives' houses. Measures have been taken by the New Delhi District Secretariat to provide food for these persons. Meanwhile, residents of the Selvakanda estate in Denyaya were also evacuated after a landslide warning was issued to the area. Our correspondent in the Bandaraville area said that cracks had appeared in the Punagal area, causing water to seep through cracks. This prompted officials to turn away estate workers reporting to work. Heavy showers in the Gudakavilla caused in the Rakwana River to overflow, inundating several shops and houses in the area. Furthermore, the Vadurapura road was inundated due to the Valave Ganga in Ambalangoda breaking its banks. Academic activities of the first and second graders of the Kanakia Junior School in Veligama have been suspended after an earth slip occurred behind the building.
The News First U-Reporter workshop, which was scheduled to be held at the Kapetibola Hall in Kandy on the 2nd of November, has been cancelled owing to the prevalent situation. Now, as we said at the beginning of the news bulletin, this special broadcast aims to educate you, to create awareness about the natural disaster, the calamity that struck Koslanda Media Badda, where our brethren are now left destitute. If you wish to make any contributions, the Sirasa Shakti Sahana Yatra has been recommenced by the Capital Maharaja organization. You can make your contributions at drop-off points in Braybrook Place, Colombo 2, that is the MTV-MBC head office, the Stein Studios in Ratmalana, the Vivekananda Center at New Chetty Street, and the Vellavata Ramakrishna Mission Hall. Remember that the deadline for donations is tomorrow, midnight tomorrow, that's Friday. With that, we're going for a short commercial break. We'll be back with the main desk.
Welcome back to the news. Now, with the tragic events of the past 2 days, it's easy to forget that there is an election on the horizon. Minister Maithripala Sirisena has stated that the United People's Freedom Alliance is prepared for a national election. The minister made this statement at a media briefing convened by the UPFA in Colombo today.
The United People's Freedom Alliance, led by the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, is currently preparing for an upcoming national election. Where is the opposition? It has not stepped onto a single platform. That is because they are incapable of doing so. In this relay, we are moving far ahead with a baton in hand. They speak of a common candidate, but there is no such candidate. The concept of a common candidate is a mere dream to the opposition. We cannot say at the moment, and we cannot make an official statement on what type of election it would be. This proposal was made without my knowledge. I have no knowledge of it. Such a proposal has been endorsed. That is all I know. Personally, I have no special thoughts regarding it. If it is bestowed, then I will do it. If it is bestowed upon me, then I will accept it.
Meanwhile, another phase of the series of seminars challenging an illegal presidential election was held in the Galle town yesterday.
The special provision introduced by J.R. Jayawardena, in which a person who conducts a presidential election within a short span of time should complete his full tenure, remains unchanged. I was against the presidential election being held before November 2016. It is stated in the constitution that this individual should serve a term of 6 years. He took oath as the president on the 19th of November 2010, and according to the Third Amendment, he should serve for a period of 6 years. He was unable to amend the constitution. I believe President Mahinda Rajapaksa has been told by an astrologer in Galle that there are bad times ahead of him. An astrologer did not say it. I can say it. His time is coming to an end.
Now moving into a story that we here at News First have been keeping a close eye on. Speaking in Parliament today, Minister of External Affairs Professor G.L. Peiris commented on the contract for the refurbishment of the official residence of the Sri Lankan permanent representative in Geneva.
චෝදනාව නිල නිවස අලුත් වැඩියා කිරීම සඳහා LTT සංවිධානයට සම්බන්ධතා තිබෙන කොම්පැනියකට.
Now the allegation that has been levelled is that the contract was given to a company that has links with the LTTE. There is no truth in this allegation. There is talk that a person by the name of Thurai Raja has links with the LTTE and that he was arrested. However, there is no evidence. I am tabling this document to the House. This document has been issued by the Federal Office of Justice, which is the Justice Office in Switzerland. It is stated in this document that Thurai Raja Thangaraja is not registered in the criminal record. This is an official document from the Swiss government. It is also mentioned here that a verification validation, that is to verify the truth of the matter, can be obtained by visiting a website. The web address has been mentioned and ministry officials visited this website. There is no criminal records against this person, no legal cases and no allegations. Therefore, just think what a wrongful act this is. It has completely destroyed an official.
මේ බලන්න අපි පොඩ්ඩක් හිතලා බලන්න ගරු මූලහසනාරෝඩ මන්ත්‍රීතුමනි මේ කෙතරම් වැරදි වැඩක්ද මේ කරන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ නිලධාරියෙක් සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම විනාශ කර දැමීමකට.
Also speaking in Parliament today, Tamil National Alliance Parliamentary Group Leader R. Samadhan reiterated that what the Tamil people need is an honourable political solution.
They want to make it perfectly clear that as far as we are concerned, we are committed to evolving a final solution to this question through negotiations. We are committed to finding a political solution within the framework of a united, undivided Sri Lanka. But it must be an honourable solution. It must be a reasonable solution. It must be a workable solution. It must be a durable solution. I regret to state that despite our having made our position very clear at the bilateral talks and in Parliament and outside, the government has thus far not responded in any responsible way to what we have proposed.
අපේ සභානායකතුමාගේ මුදල් මිලියන එකකින් කප්පාදු කළා. අපේ ආණ්ඩු පක්ෂ
Funds for the leader of the House has been slashed by $1 million. Funds for the chief government whip has been slashed by $6 million. However, funds for the opposition leader's expenses has been increased by $1 million. I don't know why. I don't know whether this increment was made as an assistance to the opposition leader or by thinking of making him the opposition leader in the future.
ගැන හිතලා ඒක වැඩි කරාද දන්නේ. වැඩියම ජනතාවට සහන ලබා දෙන අයවැයක් හැටියට මම මේක දකිනවා. ඉතින් අපි මේ අවුරුදු දෙක තුන
I view this budget as one that provides relief to the people. We observed for 2 to 3 years, and as ministers we brought the problems of the people to his attention. However, at times he didn't provide the necessary relief. There may be a reason for it. I believe this year it is an open secret. He has provided a budget that is a relief to the people by targeting the presidential elections.
Speaking in Parliament yesterday, UMP MP D.M. Swaminathan expressed the following views on the budget.
For the last 9 years, the government had forgotten the people of this country and were only concentrating mostly on the development of roads and other development projects in Hambantota, on the borrowed capital from Chinese government, paying excessive interest rates and burdening the people. It is customary that the budget speech is presented in the end of November, but the present budget is being presented in the month of October merely to satisfy the public, using this as a weapon for intending presidential election which is scheduled to be held in the early month of 2015. The government has given many promises in this budget as an election manifesto, but as usual they will not be able to fulfill their promises. The first budget was enacted by Robert Walpole because of the South Sea bubble. Today we have to face Sri Lankan sea bubble to unleash the economic chaos faced in this country by the false promises to the citizen in this budget. In the present budget, the north and eastern provinces have not been allotted any funds. The judicial system in this country is failing due to interference of the executive. If this situation continues, there will be an anarchy and the democratic rights of the people will be unprotected.
Up next is a look at Action TV.
The Sri Lankan Archaeologist Council convened a media briefing on Monday to counter the reports aired on Action TV during the last 2 weeks on the corruption and irregularities at the Central Cultural Fund. Members of the council stated that they do not believe that the director of the Central Cultural Fund is engaged in corruption. Incidentally, the president of the Sri Lankan Archaeologist Council is the Director General of the Central Cultural Fund, who is now in the spotlight for engaging in corruption. There is an institute well known to us. We do not know how to react to the reports on the media accusing the fund of malpractice. We are specialized in a particular field. We have a system. We have a discipline that we adhere to when carrying out activities. There is no argument that academics need to be respected. However, this should not be a barrier to look into the conduct of officials that administer public institutes that are maintained by public funds. This is because administrative regulations and ethics are common to all, irrespective of their status. The president of the Sri Lanka Archaeologist Council was appointed as the Director General of the Central Cultural Fund on the 3rd of October 2012 through a cabinet paper. This appointment in question was only valid until a suitable person is appointed through the appropriate procedure. Based on the establishment code, a high-ranking officer cannot cover the duties of a low-ranking officer in the same institution. However, the Director General of the Central Cultural Fund had covered the duties of the Project Director of the Northwestern Excavation and Conservation Project. He not only covered the duties, but also obtained the allowances that came with it. The Director General made an arbitrary appointment on the 1st of June 2013. He appointed a legal officer on an annual contract through a covering note stating that the legal officer would be appointed to the Governing Council. After a lapse of 6 months and 23 days since this appointment, it was revealed at the Governing Council, which convened under the patronage of the Prime Minister, that the legal officer did not possess the required qualification nor experience. Accordingly, the Council decided to recall the application and appoint a qualified individual to this post. After agreeing to this, the Governing Council makes a surprising decision. That is to ensure the legal officer who was appointed on the 1st of July 2013 without qualification nor experience to be kept in this post until a suitable person is recruited, or to be in the post for a period of 1 year. Interestingly, the Director General opts to the second option. The legal officer is fortunate and remains in this post for the remaining 1 year. After 1 year, the Director General submits a paper to the Secretary of the Ministry of Arts and Culture, who is a member of the Governing Council and the Chief Administrative Officer of the Central Cultural Fund, requesting that the tenure of the legal officer be extended for another 2 years. The Secretary does not place his signature on this paper, hence this paper does not reach the Governing Council. However, the Director General extends the legal officer's term for another 2 years. Archaeologists may carry out their duties in a responsible manner. However, can an institute which is vested with the responsibility to boast of the Sri Lankan heritage and pride make such arbitrary decisions violating all norms and principles? Secretary to the Ministry of Culture and Arts, this is over to you.
Still in local news, issuing an open letter, Chandra Jayaratne, the former chairman of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, noted that the citizens and civil society believe it is necessary and essential to take early steps to enact a law for the due recovery of proceeds of crime. The letter was addressed to the president and political party leaders.
The former chairman of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce notes that in the wake of some recent experiences, judicial pronouncements, public campaigns and civil society advocacy, the three arms of the state comprising of the executive, legislature and judiciary, as well as the private sector, the media and civil society as a whole, should protect the interests of victims of crime and the citizens and society at large. He notes that terrorism, war and conflict have been subjected this nation and its people over a 30-year period to criminal elements, and any persons connected with such criminal actions, whether currently living in Sri Lanka or overseas, where they have enriched themselves in the process, should also be pursued and be held accountable to the state. Chandra Jayaratne adds that all property, including gold, jewellery, investments and bank deposits recovered by the state and its agents from the LTTE must be restored to the legitimate owners and or their legal heirs, along with any such assets as since recovered during and after the end of the war by the state, the military, state authorities, banks and their agents.
12 individuals found guilty of smuggling heroin and murder were sentenced to death today. 8 individuals found guilty for smuggling heroin were sentenced to death by the Colombo High Court today. They were charged with possession and smuggling of 955.4 grams of heroin. Among the offenders, 5 have been identified as Indian, while 3 others are Sri Lankans. The individuals were arrested by the Navy when the narcotics, which were brought aboard a trawler from India, was being handed over to the Sri Lankans. The sentence was handed down by High Court Judge Preeti Padman Suresena. 4 individuals found guilty of murder in 2006 in the Madaragiri area have also been sentenced to death by the Polonnaruwa High Court.
Meanwhile, a seminar under the theme Rational Look at Rice Variety Improvement in Sri Lanka was held in Colombo yesterday. This was held by former Director of Rice Research and Development Institute, Bathalagoda, Dr. M.P. Dhanapala. The event was organized by the Organization of the Professionals Association of Sri Lanka together with the Association of Agriculture Professionals. Now, a number of professionals in the agricultural sector were present for this occasion, including Director General of the Department of Agriculture, Dr. Rohan Vijayakon, Additional Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture, Dr. Nimal Disanayaka, and Dr. Lakshman Amarasinghe, Director of Field Crop Research and Development Institute.
And that's a wrap of the Primetime News Bulletin for the day. For the News First team, I'm Florine Rajendran.
And I'm Madhushka Balasuri. But before we go, just another plea for a Sirasa Shakti Sahana Yatra. Do what you can to bring your donations. The deadline is tomorrow midnight. So everyone listening, please do what you can and bring in the donations for everyone who has been affected by the Coastlanda landslides. This is me, I'm Florine, wishing you all a very good night.